This is where the fun begins.
Yes, Texas is a rival.
I have a river of Kool-Aid for basketball.
It's time to step inside the hog pen.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to an ITHP special edition. I'm your host, Razorback Zach, from the Central Arkansas Hog Pen. I know it's not Wednesday. It is Tuesday night. Hope everybody's having a great week. And I know he's not MC. We'll get to him in just a second. But welcome to an ITHP special edition, Seasons Over Special. That's right. I had to name it that because after the beatdown at Memphis, and I'm going to call it what it is, it was a beatdown. We had to come on. I wanted to talk to the fans themselves about all this, and I wanted to know kind of where the fan base sat. And this is going to be his audition officially. He is our new guy on ITHP Wednesday nights with me, MC, and Dylan. Tyler Callahan. Tyler, man, first off, no pressure on the audition, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Getting thrown right into the fire with the big guy. I'm only 5'11", but we're not going to talk about that. So, wanted to remind everybody, October 11th, 6 to 9 p.m., Little Rock Oktoberfest, Argenta Plaza in North Little Rock. We're back for our 5th year. And make sure you get out there. It's for a good cause. We'll be broadcasting live all day long, and to let you know what's going on as far as the slate of games, Tennessee and Arkansas. I believe the Red River Shootout is that day, along with another plethora of games. So make sure you guys mark your calendars. And it might be the first time this season that the entire ITHP crew, minus one because he's going to be having a baby, but that being said, the ITHP crew should all be in attendance that game, that day. So make sure you come out, enjoy it. We'll have more info as it gets closer in the coming weeks. But Tyler, that's not why we're here. Okay, so first off, I don't know the word to use. Whether it's embarrassment, whether it's a shame, apathy, I don't know off the top of my head what it would be considered to be. But what happens now?
Man, obviously you see things floating around everywhere, but my personal opinion, man, I don't know how you continue going down this same path and hoping that it changes for the better. And obviously there's been so many things that have transgressed over the last week, from Juracek's comments to the game to Pittman post-game, kind of the whole I don't know thing again. And you keep rolling on and on and on, and you stack all these things into a big crap sandwich, basically, of like what we're talking about. It's like, how do we keep continuing down this path and expecting things to change for the better? And it's hard as a fan because we spend so much time, going to games and preparing and families have cookouts and things like, and dude, you can just list off all the things about people getting excited for the game and all the money and time they invest into this team, and to be let down on a week-to-week basis like this against opponents, once again, somebody that you should have beat and you had them beat, and you let them off the hook. So,
well, when I'm trying to get everything set on this thing, because I like I said, DMAD and MC are usually the ones that work all these buttons and everything, and they've let me loose on the board tonight, so I'm having to get used to everything. But I mean, when you look at the Ole Miss game, okay, what happened? It mistakes like that happen. They shouldn't. Don't get me wrong, they shouldn't, but they do. You get lucky and they punch the ball out. That's what they were doing. But when you go 2 weeks in a row with the game on the line and the same thing happens, This isn't the SEC. This isn't a Big Ten. It wasn't even a Power 4 school. And they beat you. They make you look silly. They make you look like the Group of 5 school, and they're the Power 4. That's got to be – and then you've got a head coach that comes out post-game and goes, I don't know. Tell me what to do. I don't know. Tell me what to do. Why in God's green earth would you do that? Why? Now, here's where I want the fans to come in, because this is all about the fans, Tyler. If you're watching, share it, send it to people, because I want to know where you guys sit. There's no comment that's off limits. There's no mention. Nothing is off limits tonight, because let's just face it, Ty, we're all pissed off. We're all pissed off. So make sure you get your comments in. They will make air. As fast as we can, they will make air. But I want to go through the rumors first. All right. Rumors being that Pittman's going to stay on until 2027, that, Bobby P is making moves behind the scenes on the phone. I mean, think about it. We have seen every kind of rumor. I mean, hell, I've seen, John Gruden's coming to Arkansas. Well, guess what? If that's the case, then he's got a twin that's going to Virginia Tech, according to them.
Yeah, man. And the room that, like you said, all kinds of rumors. Potentially T Will may have already packed his stuff and left, things like that. You see all kinds of stuff, man. But the thing about it is that some of that stuff that's coming out is because there's some truth behind it. Now, the John Gruden thing, that doesn't hold any weight. I don't want to dive too far off into those weeds.
Well, here's the thing about all that is you're going to have, hell, dude, we've heard Nick Saban. We've heard Houston Nutt. We've heard Gus Malzahn. We've heard, who's the coach out of Indiana? Kurt Signetti. Let me get to some of these comments. Brian James wants to know, is there any truth to Pittman being gone and Petrino stepping in as head coach? And it's a very valid question, because everybody wants to know, okay, you fire Sam Pittman, what happens? What happens? Who steps in? Who's the leader of this team? What have you? Common sense and I'm going to say this, and I don't mean it in a derogatory term like that show in Northwest Arkansas, but the common fan would normally think that the offensive coordinator is the one that steps in if a coach gets let go. It's not always the case. Now, excuse me, I'd love nothing more to see Bobby P back at Arkansas as head coach, even on an interim basis, because he's a no-nonsense guy. We were talking the other day about, the thumbprint of each of these coaches, Dabo Swinney, Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, so forth and so on. We get to Arkansas, and it's literally, I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, man. You try to look at that, and you're hoping it's like, okay, when Pittman got hired on, right? When he came in, we thought we're going to have a head coach whose thumbprint is going to be our offensive line, is going to be our staple. We're going to be really talented in the trenches. We're going to be able to run the football. Things like that. And on a year-to-year basis, that hasn't been true. We've seen some flashes of it, but it hasn't been consistent. And then to move back to the comment, I think logistically you have to look at it as like, okay, if Pittman is let go, if that's the route that they decide to go, do you want Travis Williams to be the interim guy right now?
I don't, and it's a good thing you brought that up, because here's the other thing. There are 3 names that I have been told are on the chopping block sooner rather than later. Now, look here. As far as I'm concerned, fire everybody.
Right.
From the top down. The only people you need to keep is Calipari's staff and DVH's staff. And again, Kelsey Music and all that. I'm talking football and the main athletic department administration. Fire every single one of them. I don't care anymore. All right, I'm to that point, and so is the fan base. But there's 3 names that I don't think make it to the end of the season. There's 2 of them I don't think make it past the bye week, and that's Travis Williams and Sam Pittman. Again, it'd be the most Arkansas thing ever, and we'll talk more about it tomorrow night. but it'd be the most Arkansas thing ever to get beat by Ole Miss, to get beat by Memphis, to come out and beat Notre Dame. I don't think it's going to happen, but it'd be the most Arkansas thing ever. That being said, though, what I'm being told by sources, and I'm using this term, I know everybody hates it, but I'm using this lightly. Sources are telling me, and this is a source that has inside information, I'm not going to name any names, that regardless of what happens against Notre Dame next week, Sam Pittman's gone during the bye week. And I've seen it too many places to think that it's just hearsay or it's just BS or whatever. All right. I look at the schedule, and again, this is me taking off Razorback Zach persona. It's literally a football fan looking at the schedule based on what I've seen the last 2 weeks. There's not another win on the schedule for this Arkansas team, and I'm gonna tell you why. Well, number one, the head coach. Okay, here's my problem, Tyler, and I want your opinion, and fans, I want you to keep chiming in too. You guys are doing great. We'll get to them as we can. But here's a couple of things that I noticed, especially during Memphis, that makes me think, number one, Sam's lost the locker room. And number two, the fan base that are still trying to defend Sam Pittman are kind of delusional if you think about it. Well, Sam's not out there fumbling the ball. Sam's not. It's an execution problem. Again, where does that execution come from? The head coach. Attitude reflects leadership. When you have a coach that's on the sideline going, I don't know. You got guys, like JP says, you got guys running around just jogging around like nobody cares. You know, he says, why can't we put in the guys that will at least give you great effort, not all this jogging around? That's how you know. By the way, thanks for the comment, JP. That's how you know that this team has, number one, lost its confidence, but number two, that the locker room's just gone.
Yeah, man, you look back at and you and I have had a couple conversations about this. The team that had Grant Morgan and Hayden Henry at linebacker, and you had two walk-on linebackers, man, and both Arkansas kids, but they were proud of that fact. They worked their butts off. They flew around and hit people. And was that the most talented defense, top to bottom, that Arkansas has ever had? No, but what did they make up for that with? So they flew around. They wanted to hit somebody.
I want to tell you this, all right? Whose players were those? If you stop and think, who recruited most of that team?
Well, that was Brett Bielema's. Those were really Morris's guys.
Some of them were super seniors from
Bielema's team.
From Bielema's team that redshirted, but for the most part, those were all Chad Morris's guys.
Yeah.
And we thought, okay, once Chad Morris's guys get cycled out, Sam Pittman gets his guys in, he's an offensive line coach, things will be great. That's not been the case.
Not even a little bit.
Now, I will give credit where credit's due. Taylor Green definitely putting up big numbers, definitely putting up, making big strides, but he can only do so much when the defense just doesn't care.
Well, man, and that's true. And to harp, the defense, obviously, the non-hustle, man, that is an attitude problem. That is no more than a leadership and an attitude problem. And I don't know where that is coming from, because you hear Travis Williams talking. He's not a low-energy guy. So you're looking at that and you're like, where is that coming from? But it's coming from somewhere in that locker room.
Yeah.
It's definitely coming from somewhere in that locker room.
Brandon Laughlin says, are we now considered the Vandy of the SEC?
I mean, I think as far as I don't want to get it so twisted that like there's no SEC.
Just go ahead and twist it, because what else can go wrong at this rate? What else can go wrong?
I mean, here's the thing. I don't think that you can completely disrespect Arkansas's football team if you're anybody that has to play against them right now, because I don't think it's a check mark on their schedule. But I think if we get a half-assed version of every team that we play that we're not going to win. If they play three-quarters of what they're capable of playing. But to your point, to the embarrassment level of what we have, how we're feeling, what the team looks like, the embarrassment level, we're the bottom of the SEC right now. So to the guy's question, you have to be the Vandy of the SEC right now because we're at the floor right now. We're at the bottom looking up. So you have to be. That's where we are.
And I'm going to tell you this: when Vandy and Mississippi State are both 4-0, when Auburn is 3-1, there's a problem. Okay. Look at the other SEC coaches that were hired at the same time as Pittman. Lane Kiffin. The Dork. They're all both teams are ranked. Both teams are ranked and they're undefeated. Right. I think. Yeah. Arkansas's 2-2 again, and we're struggling to find the wins. Now, again, if this was year one, year two, of course, I would agree. This is an overreaction. Okay? We're in year 6, and you're making mistakes like having 12 guys on the damn field after a timeout? Or you're still, down in the red zone, and you go for it instead of kicking a field goal and getting the points?
Right, and to your point, man, the offensive staff, the wide receiver coach who let those guys go out there is a Petrino guy. And I know that's not Petrino's character. I know that that's not him, but guess where he's not at right now?
He's not on the field. He's in the box, and there's nothing he can do.
No, he's not.
Again, it all comes down to the head coach. Let me see. There was another comment I wanted to get to. Where did it go? My fiance is in the chat making – look here. She says, y'all are cursed. She says, y'all suck. Talking about I'm hoping she's talking about the team and not us.
It kind of feels that way, though, right now.
I know, right? There it is. She does, after her crap talking, she does make a valid point. She says, get rid of everyone and start a new team. And I'm going to caveat off that and say, start with the administration. Okay? I saw a comment on Facebook the other day, Tyler, that said something along the lines of, you hire this guy and you give him full NIL support. I forget the guy's name, who it was. I think it was a defensive coordinator out of Georgia Tech, I think. Here's the problem. When you have an athletic director like Hunter Yurachek, you're not going to get NIL support. You're just not going to do it.
Man, and I don't know if it's the way that he talks to the donors. I don't know if nobody's excited about Sam Pittman. But I'll tell you.
Why would – wait. You said two things there that I wanted to stop and talk about real quick. The way he's talking to the donors. Well, I can tell you when he goes in front of the Little Rock Touchdown Club, those are some of the big money donors.
Yeah. And
when he goes in front of them 3 years in a row, and he says, "Oh, if ever I'm against NIL, I hate NIL," and just drags it through the mud, and then comes back the very next year and says, "We need to hire, or we need to, if everybody donated $100 a month, we'd have NIL and we'd be competitive." Wait. But you just said that you didn't want and like NIL. Right. And now you're begging people who already donate. And I know people that have donated $40,000, $50,000 a year to the foundation on top of buying $400, $500, even sometimes over $1,000 worth of season tickets. And now you're asking them to donate more because you can't do your job? And then he comes back a third year in a row and goes, I want this to be bulletin board material for as long as he's the athletic director. We are not set up to win a championship in football. I'm not saying he wasn't wrong, but you don't say it 4 games in with your head coach on the line. The third point you made just a second ago was is everybody against Sam Pittman? Aren't you?
Yeah, dude.
Give me one. Legitimately, and fans, again, I want to know what the fans think. We're here for the fans tonight. If you guys are just now tuning in and wondering why we're live on a Tuesday, look, it's because we are so frustrated with the way this football team has gone for 6 years that we want to air out our grievances. And I don't want to be like that show in Northwest Arkansas. I don't want to be like the radio stations or the talking heads. You have a voice when it comes to this football team and this athletic program right here inside the Hawg Pen. No shameless plug, by the way. I made that up just on the fly. So I want you guys to get your comments heard. But anyway, Tyler, go ahead, man. I'm going to get off my soapbox and shut up for a minute.
Oh, you're good, man. You're 100% right, dude. And here's the problem. I saw a post today because Hunter Yurachek was so sure that whenever the revenue sharing started, that the NIL situation would be solved. He forgot to be involved with the Edge, the collective?
It was the whatever the collective is now.
Yeah. So Blue Sports or something has something to do. It's a convoluted mess that I don't get me completely. But anyhow, nonetheless, we now have an interim director for the Edge, and guess where he lives? Norman, Oklahoma.
I was going to say, I don't even think he's in the state.
Right. So, the dude's sitting on his hands waiting for something to happen because he's 100% positive that these things are going to work out. And because of his whatever, I don't even know what the right word is. He being so unsure and uncommitted to NIL and just doesn't want to dabble in it and hoping that the revenue sharing would solve the issues and make him look like that he knew all this whole time. He was so sure that it was going to work out that way. And then he could be like, look, now we're instantly relevant again. And guess what? It didn't happen that way. And now he's come to a gunfight with a pocket knife. Cad doesn't even have a pocket knife. He's come to a gunfight empty-handed.
Well, no, he's come to the gunfight and went, I don't know. Tell me what to do. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do. No, but it's a very good point. I want to get back into these comments, though. Chris Frisbee says, will Pittman be gone during the bye week like I've heard? It is looking that way, yes. I would not be surprised. And if this administration has any sort of a brain left in it, they put Bobby P in charge going into Tennessee. But the problem is, I don't think it's so much the coaching staff anymore, Tyler. I just don't think the players are bought in anymore.
Man,
I don't see it.
Well, dude, we had several plays last week that showed us that in the second half and I brought this one. There's a 3rd and 7. They throw a little flat to their wide receiver. They got the quarterback just getting rid of the ball, not taking a sack, basically saying, we're going to kick a field goal right here. I'm going to get the 3 or 4 yards from my receiver, get us a little closer and in range. We've got a safety coming down and a corner right there hitting the guy. He catches ball 3 yards, takes off upfield. Our corner and safety come down. The dude lowers his shoulder, runs through some wimpy arm tackles, and it's 1st and goal after that on a play that should have been, 3rd or 4th and 5, 4th and 4. They're going to have to kick a field goal, and then everybody knows the play at the end of the game where the quarterback broke through 3 or 4 arm tackles of linebackers and defensive linemen, and then drags one of our defensive linemen for 5 yards for 1st down.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. How in the world do you have 150 to 200 pounds on their offensive line, and the backup, not even the starting quarterback, the backup quarterback, they got so confident that they could beat us, they put the backup in against a Power 5 SEC school, and the defensive lineman gets skull drugged. What was it, like 6-7 yards?
Yeah.
How? I don't know if this is real or not. But did you see what he said when they were asked why he didn't kick the field goal instead of and went for it instead?
Kick when?
Towards the end of the game. When they a lot of people asked him and said, why didn't you just kick the field goal and get the points? He said, well, there was too much time on the clock. By the way Memphis was running the ball and moving the ball, I didn't want to run the risk of them scoring again. Are you blind or just dumb? That's I don't know. Send him to Hot Springs. His goose is cooked. It's like Jonathan Parker says. You can tell in his postgame press conference Monday, he knows he's gone. When he start getting pissy with the media, you can tell he's pretty much checked out. Dan Yoakum, our boy Dan, I swear, he says, do you think if Pittman does get fired, he'll show up on Monday because he didn't know? There's
a very real possibility.
There is a very real possibility. Brandon Laughlin once again chimes in. Depending on the first half, he may get fired at halftime. Has that ever happened?
I think that'd be a really bad look, but
would it though? Would it though? I mean, it'd be the ballsiest move that Hunter Yurachek's made in a while. That's for dang sure.
Maybe that'll get the donors fired up.
Right? We're going to step away for a break. On the other side of the break, we're going to continue the discussion of what happens now. You're listening to the Season's Over special edition of Inside the Hog Pen. Me and Tyler will be back right after this.
Meeks Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Meeks Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Meeks Design.
Hey, Hawg fanatics. We at Inside the Hog Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share SeatGeek as a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hog fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code INSIDEHOGPEN. Check out our socials for the link, and remember to use the code INSIDEHOGPEN.
Attention Razorback fans and local businesses. Are you ready to reach the most passionate Arkansas sports fans out there? Introducing Inside the Hog Pen, not your normal Razorback talk show. We're fans first and don't try to hide it. No agendas, no propaganda. At Inside the Hog Pen, we call it like we see it. And now we're looking for sponsors to join the team. This is your chance to put your brand in front of thousands of loyal Razorback fans who live and breathe Arkansas sports. From small businesses to major brands, we have sponsorship packages tailored just for you. So let's grow together and make Inside the Hog Pen bigger and better. Don't miss out. Call 501-416-4331 or email us today at insidethehogpen@gmail.com and become a proud sponsor of Inside the Hog Pen.
It's time to step back inside the Hog Pen to the Meeks Design Studios.
All right, welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen. That stopped abruptly. I don't know if I like that. Welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen, special edition, Season's Over. And yes, it is abruptly named Season's Over because I got approval to finally say it. I couldn't help it, Tyler. I was frustrated, and the first thing I said was, you know what? To hell with it. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Season's Over. D-Mad hung up on me like twice every time I tried to say it.
Well, man, it does feel that way, and we talked about this before the show. It's like you come out of those first two games, and you feel really good about the team. You knew you had questions about the defense, a little bit of heartbreak against Ole Miss, but you could hang your hat on the fact that you went in to Oxford on a Saturday night with that loud crowd and put up the numbers you did on offense and had an opportunity to win the game. So you were still kind of feeling a little bit good about it. And then, you hop up early on Memphis 28-10, and then it was just like from that point, it was just I don't know what happened, but it was the exact opposite of what we've been hoping we'd see all year.
Well, and again, you made a very valid point. How the hell do you have 1,000 yards of offense and you're 0-2? Now, I will say this. I will give MC credit. And I know he's not watching because he'll be here tomorrow night, and I'll say it tomorrow. I'll give him a lot of credit. He said we were going to split. Excuse me. He said we were going to split A-State and Memphis. Sure enough, by God, we did. By God, we did. I want to get back into these comments because there's some good ones tonight. Y'all keep it rolling. That's why we're here tonight for you guys. Dylan, our boy D-Mad, he says, based on the press conference yesterday, Pitt looks like he's a dead man walking, and he knows it. And he does. I mentioned to you guys all season up to this point through SEC Media Days up until last Monday, because I haven't had a chance to watch this week's press conference just yet. But I kept telling you guys, there's something different about Pitt. It's almost like he knows. It's either he's coaching for his life because he knows the end is near, or he's fed up and he's out to prove a point. Well, turns out he knows the end is near. Jonathan Parker, once again, our boy JP says, I will say the offensive line is doing way better this year than in the past. Yes, to an extent. You agree with that one, Tyler?
Yeah, man. I just saw a stat a minute ago. I told you that there was one of the it wasn't Pro Football Focus, but there's another scouting agency that ranks offensive lines in NCAA, and Arkansas ranked at the top in offensive line play, which makes it all the more frustrating that we're having the conversation that we're having right now.
And here's the thing. Everybody says that we're throwing this hissy fit. And we had this discussion with the team the other day, that we're throwing a hissy fit and you want a coach fired 4 games in after 2 fumbles. It goes beyond that. It's 7-19 in one-score games, okay? It's 30-32 in 6 years. It's 3 back-to-back 6-6 seasons where you're depending on the last 2 games to become bowl eligible when 90% of the SEC has already locked up their bowl eligibility. It's a head coach that sits there, like we talked about all shows so far, with your hands thrown up going, I don't know. Y'all tell me what to do. Why the hell does this guy still have a job? Brett Bielema had a worse record than he does. Had a better record than he does, and he got fired after 5 years. Chad Morris, I'm not going to talk about that one. We all know what happened there. Again, Sam Pittman did what Eric Musselman did, okay? He brought us out of the dark ages. That's great, but he's not the solution. He's not the solution.
He's the Mike Anderson of Razorback football.
He is. He's the Mike Anderson of Razorback football. So go out and get you a Calipari. Now, and I'm gonna make this point, and I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna get handed over to Tyler because y'all can tell I'm fired up tonight. I wanted to do this show so bad that I had to take a day to calm down first. Here's the thing. Everybody's like, well, John Tyson went and got Calipari. Jerry Jones can go get one. No, he can't. He is an NFL owner. He cannot legally do it. Okay, everybody's argument to that has been, Tyler, well, he donated the money to get the football, the Smith Center, or the Jerry Jones Center built for the football team. Yeah. Does anybody remember? He's an alumni. He gave his own money because as an alumni to have that building done. He didn't give it on behalf of the Dallas Cowboys. He didn't give it at behalf of being the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. He gave it as an alumni to the University of Arkansas. That's how it happened. And this thought just came to me too. The naming rights to Razorback Stadium were up last season. Have we heard anything else about it? This administration is failing not only the fan base, but they're failing the university as well. I said it. I said it. Tyler, I'm going to scroll through these comments and find us one. I'm going to let you
I
on.
want to comment on Chad Morris for a second, man, because I get so sick of hearing people talk about, well, Sam Pittman's better than Chad Morris. Man, that's not – if that's what we strive for as a fan base, is to be better than the absolute worst that you can be, just to be better than that, then I need to find a new team to be a fan of, because that's not what I want. That's not something that I expect from the kids that I coach in youth baseball. That's not something that our athletic department should expect for our athletic staff. That's not something that we as fans should expect from the university. If we want 6-6, we can be fans of almost over half of the teams in college football. But I don't want 6-6. I want 8-4, 9-3, 10-2 with a 10-2 now puts you in the college football playoff. In the
9-3 will get you in.
Yeah,
with the way it's expanded, 9-3 will get you in. Here's the thing: you were rattling off season records. KJ Jefferson. Let's squirrel back just a minute. All right, KJ Jefferson broke all those records a couple of years ago, right? That's fantastic, great, good for him. What's the one thing you remember about that season, though? Do you remember the records? Do you remember his yardage that he got? No. Do you remember how many touchdowns he threw? No. What do you remember about that season? 4-8. 4-8. That's what people are going to think about. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter if Sam Pittman had one good season. It doesn't matter if we beat Notre Dame or not. This season's a wrap. You can't defend it.
No, man. It's there's nothing that can happen now. And here's the thing: you've already got players decommitting. They see the writing on the wall. You've already got the players checking out. And what do you think the checkout's going to be like now after you lost to Memphis? And you know that your goals that you had for the season are pretty well over.
Sorry, I'm reading some of these comments.
Yeah, bring some comments on, man. Absolutely.
What did I just lost that one I was talking about. This is why MC and D-Man get to do this. My attention span is not all that great. JP says Hunter doesn't hang with the donors like Frank did in the past to make them feel important. No, but again, I will defend one point. I will defend one thing about the state of college football now versus 30 years ago. The landscape's completely different. When you're paying players now, everything's off the table. Everything's off the table. It's all about money now. Our boy Aaron says, you mean you're not going to kiss the UA butt like Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly? Aaron, when was the last time you ever heard me kiss their butt? I'm a realist. That's what we do here at ITHP. We are realists. We call it like it is.
And, dude, it gives the thing that I've noticed, and I've been here a short time, is because the reason that we are calling it like we see it is because we hear the fans, guys. We hear what y'all are talking about, and we aren't going to protect or support the U of A like we've heard that they say they're going to. Guys, we are here because we want to give the fans a voice.
They don't call me the voice of Razorback Nation for nothing. And that is not a self-given title as some people think it is. All right? I want you guys to be heard. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell us what you're thinking. I know D-Mad and MC aren't here tonight, and that's okay. They're going to be here tomorrow night. Well, D-Mad's off having a baby. But
D-Mad's here in spirit. I see
D-Mad's here in spirit. And we're going to get to some of his comments because, boy, he's trying to get some brownie points. But he actually sent me a text just a second ago and said, don't break the board. I make no guarantees at this point. I already screwed up the intros. So no, let's go back to these comments here. JP once again chimes in and says, does Hunter make the next hire for football? God, I hope not. Now, what I've heard is he won't have the capability because he's going to be job hunting himself. What you need isn't somebody that is money hungry. What you need is somebody that can embrace the culture like Hunter did the first couple of years he was here. He embraced it because he loved it. He brought back the slobber and hog. He brought back Coke. He brought, he changed things in his first couple of years. He named the court at Bud Walton after Nolan Richardson. Great. And then he got money hungry. You need somebody that will embrace the program, number one, and can connect with the fans. All right. Doesn't necessarily have to be an Arkansas boy. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I don't want it to be an Arkansas boy. We see what happened there. Thank you, Jeff Long, for putting the program back 15 years.
Man, and the other thing is like, I want it to be somebody that is about the money, but in a sense that they know how to navigate this NIL situation that we have, and they know how to solve it instead of shielding our program, top to bottom, our athletic department from the NIL situation for years, hoping that it would change. I hope we get somebody who embraces it and takes off running with it so that we can make the necessary changes because and I know coaching makes a huge difference. I know it does. I know that we can be an 8-win football team with the current situation that we have, but if we get somebody that comes in here and gets the NIL support that we need and a competent coach who can take us to the next level, guys, it's going to be a dangerous combination, and that is something that can happen at the University of Arkansas.
Here's the thing. It's not about talent. It's not about NIL. It's about coaching. At the end of the day, everything leads back to the head coach. Well, it's not Sam's fault. He didn't fumble the ball. Doesn't matter. Everything leads back to the head coach. All right. JP's trying to throw us off our game, Tyler. He says, does Arkansas have 2 byes this year? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. One's coming up right after Notre Dame, just before we go to Knoxville. The other one comes in right before we go to Baton Rouge.
I think
that's right.
I think after – is it after the Auburn game?
I think it's after the Auburn game, but before we go to Baton Rouge. I think. I have an answer for you tomorrow night. I promise. They said, JP also chimes in and says, they've only really shown up for the A-State game as far as effort goes, in my opinion. Yeah. And even then you saw flashes of him losing the locker room. Give you an example. How the hell are you going to let an A-State guy run a 100-yard touchdown kickoff return back? How? How did he get through? Nobody picked him up. And you want to tell me that there's effort? No, son. JP, that's the first time I think this year I've disagreed with you.
Well, and man, here's another thing too. Scott Fountain, we have had special teams issues every year with that guy, whether it's been punting or punt returns.
How long has he been? How long has he been special teams coordinator?
I think he came here with Pittman, did he not?
Did he come here with Pittman?
It might have been the second year, but I think he's been here almost.
I swear he's been here before.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but I know
I feel like he was.
You take Cam Little away, it's been bad.
Let's see. Aaron once again says, we're putting way too much confidence in Yurachek actually firing him at all. I don't trust that guy any more than I do Sam. Again, right there. The fan base does not trust this administration. And he won't. That's the problem. I think he's going to leave Sam there and not renew his contract. I think he's going to let him coach through 27. But again, if he does that though, Tyler, if he lets him go and coaches through 27, how much more damage is that going to do to the program? And how far down the crapper is that going to put the program in a worse situation than Chad Morris was?
Well, I think the Board of Trustees is going to step in before that issue arrives. I don't think if we keep headed down this path, I don't think the Board of Trustees let the 2027 thing be a problem because we're already setting ourselves back right now. We had a tight end decommit right before the show started tonight. So things are already going the wrong way. But I don't have any faith in them either. I don't trust any decisions that they're making. I'm frustrated with the whole thing. And you look at all the slips that Yurachek's had from his job, the things that he's supposed to be doing that he's not getting done, that are I don't understand. If I was in any kind of administrative position and one of my jobs was to make sure that our stadium got a sponsor for the naming rights, and it's been an entire year, as Zach brought up, and then the Edge Collective thing that's happened, and then you can just go so many places down the road. And he wants to self-credit him. He wants to give credit to himself for Calipari getting here, but that was John Tyson. And if it weren't for John Tyson,
we'd have Darrell Walker.
That situation will be so much worse right
now. Sorry. Forgive that outburst.
You're good. He said, Jonathan Parker said that Scott Fountain did come over with Pitt.
Okay. I couldn't remember because I swear that guy's been here before. JP goes, are you here? And goes, no, I'm having it. And if I look a little distracted, I'm having to do double duty tonight. I'm actually storm chasing from the hog pen here in Central Arkansas and doing this show at the same time. And we've got some weather coming through. And what I heard was not what I thought it was. I didn't sound like thunder, but apparently it was. All right, so let's get back to these comments, Tyler. And let's see. Y'all keep it coming, by the way. When was the last time, JP wants to know, when was the last time we were good on both sides of the ball in the same year?
I'm good. I don't know if good's
that
the
would
right
be,
word.
Hey,
I think there was a Barry Odom year there. The 9-3 year, I guess, would be the most complete football team that we've had since Bobby Petrino.
Put a pin in that one and ask that one tomorrow when MC's here. MC will be able to answer that question better than I could. Brad Staten. Oh, God. And this is, okay, my boy Brad, where the hell have you been, by the way? He says, John L. Smith. Get out of here with that. D-Mac, here's the one I wanted to put up for D. We're mathematically not eliminated yet. Yeah, we are. We're eliminated. JP says, could Nutt be a good AD? He could. However, he's not going to take the job. He wants to be Pawpaw now. That's why he left TV. He wanted more time with the grandkids. All right. I personally, I think he needs to lead the Razorback Foundation. That's just me. All right.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love Houston Nutt, but with all the responsibilities and stuff that he would have, I think he would be great as a salesman for our football program and to probably help get the donors in the right situation. But there's so much more to that job behind the scenes than that. And I just don't think that's he would be the best fit for that.
I mean, as a fan, Tyler, let me ask you this. As a fan, take the hat off of ITHP, as a passionate fan, or as the fan base likes to say, as a true fan, what would it take for you to buy back into the football team at this point in the season?
Like currently?
Yeah, at this point in the season, the 2025-2026 football season, what would it take, in your opinion, what would it take for you to buy back in? And I want the fans to chime in too, so I'm going to ask you that question as well. What would it take as of September 23rd at 8:50 at night? What would it take for you to buy back into the football? What has to happen to buy back in? Here's the thing. Take firing Sam Pittman off the table. Let's say he stays. What has to happen?
Well, I mean, he's got to go. For one, I think for everything to change, I think T. Will's got to go. And I wanted T. Will to be the guy, but your defense has to improve. But I think just in order for Sam Pittman to keep his job as a fan for the rest of the year, he's got to go 6-2. I mean, if he goes 6-2, then and rattles off, because y'all got to remember the rest of our schedule after Notre Dame is the SEC. We don't get that cupcake in the middle of the year for homecoming like we normally do. So from here until the end of the year, we got to go 6-2, and we better play some really, really good football. I mean, we not even in the 2 losses, it's got to be pretty. It's got to be pretty. Like, you played better, you played really good football, and you just barely gave the game away or something to that effect. But I'm trying to make myself think that way, but I just can't talk myself into thinking that would ever happen.
Well, and at the same time, I feel like you're about a year too late with Pitt.
I agree.
I had high hopes, coming into the season. Oh, no, let me back up. Wait a minute. So hold on. Because I'm lying when I said that. I've been super critical of this team all year long. All offseason, I'm 4-8 was where I was at. Now I think 2-10 is where you're going to be. How do you defend that? How do you defend 2-10 to get the support from the fan base? I think Sam Pittman's too far gone.
I agree.
That nothing at this point matters, and it is. It's like Brad Staten just commented. He says, "I will still watch the train wreck, but I am done with this year." It's like a bad train wreck that you don't want to watch it, but you can't look away. You know, that's it. That's what it boils down to. Is that you don't want to watch it, but you can't look away.
And man, it's one thing after another, dude. It's like last year our offense is, okay, and our defense is mediocre. And then the year before our offense was really, really bad, and our defense was keeping us in games. And then there's no from year to year, there's no consistency, and it seems like he doesn't have a blueprint of what his football team looks like. He just says, I'm going to bring in these guys and I'm going to let them do their thing, and we're hopefully going to win. It's like there's no like, I need us to be this. And the problem is that I don't think he's a leader in that way. I don't think that he brings everybody together and makes a cohesive football team where the offense and defense complement one another. I don't think that he is that kind of leader that brings everyone together.
Here's the thing. You made a good point in the pre-show meeting that we had, kind of run down everything. Wasn't it Pittman that said the years of being 2-10 and the laughing stock of the SEC are over in his introductory press conference? 6 years ago, he stood in front of the fan base and said the years of being a mediocre football team and the laughing stock of the SEC and the years of going 2-10 are over. And that's all good and well. And look, if 6-6 is the best he can do, that's fine. That's fine. And I'm not settling for, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if 6-6 is the best he can do, that's great to compared to where we were. But he's not the answer that we need.
And he's staring that 2-10 in the face right now.
I don't think he knows that. I don't think he knows that.
And I'll just tell you, if this week isn't competitive, he's not going to stick around long enough to find it out.
Here's the thing, I'm going to play off of Caleb's comment here.
What's up, Caleb?
Got to fire Pittman after a loss to Notre Dame and bring in Petrino the rest of the year. I'm going to ask a question, and I'm not hating on anybody or anything. But I asked the question. I'm a realist, y'all. Y'all know me. I've been doing this 9 years. Y'all know me. I'm going to ask the real questions here. How much different of an impact can Petrino make on this team if they've already checked out?
Man,
even if he's an interim head coach, even if he has the interim tag, number one, he's already come out and said he doesn't want to be a head coach. Number two, there's limitations that he's gonna have because he's got, number one, he's got that interim tag, and number two, you're gonna be 5 games into the season.
Man, I think he's got to find. I think Petrino would have to find some guys in that locker room, in the coaching staff, and they're gonna have to sell to the team. It's like, look, I don't know what next year looks like, but next year is next year. We can't worry about that right now. We have a season to finish. Here's the deal. This is something that you and I both talked about. Petrino is very particular about everything. He's one of those guys that, like, if you're not doing what he wants, you're going to hear about it. Things are going to be in order. Things are going to be in shape. Everything's going to be ran a certain way. He's the kind of guy that you need for where this football team is at right now. You need that, for lack of a better word, you need that asshole coach who's going to push you and bring your best out.
Yes. Thank you. That's exactly my point. We had a conversation between all of us in team chat the other day when all this was unfolding and we were kind of airing out our grievances amongst ourselves. I think it was you and D-Mad that said we need an asshole of a coach. Nick Saban was a good coach. Why? Because he was an asshole. Kirby Smart. He has assholish tendencies, but he's a good coach. That's just it. Look, I've met and talked to Pitt. The guy knows me by name, which I don't know if it's a good thing or not. But here's the thing. He might be a good dude. He's a good old boy. Nothing wrong with that. You can be a good old boy, but when you're in between those end zones, when you're on that field, you have got to be an asshole. You've got to be a dog. Well, okay, Hawg in our case, but still.
Yeah.
You've got my biggest issue with him, Tyler, is that he's trying to be the good guy. He's trying to play the respect game. I'm going to tell you this right now. Ryan Silverfield didn't give a damn about how he felt. Lane Kiffin didn't give a damn about how he felt. Now, great. Sure, you can go out and golf with these guys after the game. That's all good and well. But for 60 minutes, for 3 hours on a Saturday, I'm going to say it. Let me get my censor button ready. For 3 hours on a Saturday, you got to kick the out of them. I don't care who the team is. I don't care if it's A-State, Alabama A&M, Ole Miss, Memphis, Notre Dame. I do not care. Make a freaking statement.
Man, and I think what Caleb just posted in the comments is right on, man. I mean, if you want to make a statement, dude, after Notre Dame this week, if it looks like how it can potentially go, and let me tell you something. Marcus Freeman's trying to get that. They're trying to get that defense right this week, and they still have a legitimate shot of being in the playoff. And I know statistically or mathematically we do too, but if you lose that game, right?
Yep.
Name Petrino the head coach. Like Caleb Milam said, he said, plus the bye week in between Notre Dame and Tennessee will help Petrino get everything ready, and that's 100% right. He's got a week to establish the process that he thinks it's going to take without completely changing everything. He can't change everything. He doesn't have enough time. But he can tighten the ship up a little bit, and then you got a whole week to game plan for Tennessee.
And that game is at number one at Tennessee, and it's a night game. All right, I think I have to double check that. I'll have all that tomorrow. Don't worry.
Yeah,
but
that's going to be a tough place to play too.
They're going to be fighting for revenge because of what happened in Fayetteville last year. You know they're licking their chops about this 100%. Game. You know they are. But anyway,
go ahead.
We're going to step away and catch our breath. We're going to keep this conversation going as long as you guys are with us. We're going to be right here talking about everything and airing out our grievances. You're listening to Inside the Hog Pen, Season's Over, Special Edition. Back right after this.
Mix Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mix Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mix Design.
Hey, Hog fanatics. We at Inside the Hog Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share SeatGeek as a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not-so-good deal. As a special offer, Hog fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code Inside Hog Pen. Check out our socials for the link, and remember to use the code Inside Hog Pen.
Attention Razorback fans and local businesses. Are you ready to reach the most passionate Arkansas sports fans out there? Introducing Inside the Hog Pen, not your normal Razorback talk show. We're fans first and don't try to hide it. No agendas, no propaganda. At Inside the Hog Pen, we call it like we see it. And now we're looking for sponsors to join the team. This is your chance to put your brand in front of thousands of loyal Razorback fans who live and breathe Arkansas sports. From small businesses to major brands, we have sponsorship packages tailored just for you. So let's grow together and make Inside the Hog Pen bigger and better. Don't miss out. Call 501-416-4331 or email us today at insidethehogpen@gmail.com and become a proud sponsor of Inside the Hog Pen.
It's time to step back inside the Hog Pen to the Meeks Design Studios.
All right, I still can't get used to the way that music just kind of stops. We got to figure out a way to fade that in and out. Again, that's how, that's why Dylan and MC get to run this stuff, because I'm going to end up breaking the board, and I'm not going to hear the end of it. Welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen. Season's over, special edition. I'm Razorback Zach, hanging out with Tyler here, the Proby. But after tonight, I think he's done pretty well. What do you guys think? Give me a grade on Tyler here. Do we include him in, or do we kick his ass to the curb? I'm kidding.
Don't kick my ass to the curb.
It might be well, Tyler. And I'll tell you this: it's probably that means there's a culture problem here at ITHP if that's the case. But when you kind of like the Razorbacks, I honestly think since Bobby Petrino, you can point fingers at Jeff Long, you can point fingers at Bielema, you can point fingers at Moore, you can point fingers anywhere. There seems to be an underlying issue. And it goes deeper than just changing coaches. There's an old adage that it's like pulling a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. You can put a Band-Aid on it, but you're going to keep bleeding.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop anything. Changing coaches. But again, nobody's going to want to come here with an athletic director like the one we have. Number two, when the culture is as toxic as it is. You're 30 and 32 in 6 years. All right, it might be a little bit more than that now. I got to add in the 4 games this season. But over the last decade, how many games have we lost 1 score?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Our boy D-Mad's hitting us with some stats.
Oh, come on! I set you up perfectly. Don't acknowledge. Man. Look, wait. We acknowledge him enough on Wednesdays. Don't bring that mess in here,
man. I can't not do it. This is so good. I want to take credit for it, but I can't. But regardless, it's still an interesting stat, you guys. In the last 10-ish years, Arkansas has lost 40 one-score games. 40. Now, Sam Pittman's 7-19. That's 26 in 6 years. There have been more. So, and D-Mad went on to say, which is great. If we win half of those, on average, that's 2 more wins per year, guys. And we keep talking about culture problems. Guys, that is a culture problem. We cannot pull it out of us. They cannot pull it out of them when everything's on the line, when it's a 1-score game, when they need to punch it in one time, when they need to make 1 stop on defense, when they need to get that 1 first down or make that field goal. I mean, there's literally so many ways that you lose 1-score games, guys. And they've done it 40 times in the past 10 years.
I mean, it amazes me how toxic things have become. You know, everybody thought last year going into Tennessee or coming out of Tennessee that we've turned the corner. We've got it figured out. There was a comment here. Let me see if I can find it and pull it up. Hang on just a second. Excuse me. JP.
Go ahead.
He says it's like every year he goes and fixes the problem from that year, but opens up other problems. It's like he can't fix more than one problem a year. I mean, that pretty much explains it right there.
I wonder how his wife feels. It's like, I need you to pick up on the laundry a little bit. Stops doing the dishes. Starts picking up the dishes. Stops cooking. Starts cooking a little bit. It's just like, can you do more than one?
Look, I've got ADHD, something bad. You can ask my fiance. You can ask my parents. You can ask anybody. I've got ADHD in the worst kind of way. All right, I'll be over here focused in, all of a sudden shiny object. Hey, Gatorade bottle. You know,
dude, I'm so bad. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, it is. You know, hang around long enough, you'll figure that out.
Yeah.
It bugs me that no coach wants to come here, and nobody wants this job. Nobody's looking at this job going, that's the job that I want. Okay. And here's why. Number one, you got toxic fan base. There's two words that describe the Arkansas fan base right now. And it's not bad, but let me explain. Two words, and I've said it for a while now. Instant gratification. They haven't won and they haven't felt relevant in football in so long. They want to win, and they want to win right now. Me, I just want to be consistent. If 6-6 is the best you can do, that's great. Go out and find your successor. Go out and find the guy that can sustain that and then take it to the next level. All right. 6-6 needs to be the floor for Arkansas. You're not, and again, you're not going to compete for a national title with the guys around you. All right. LSU, Texas, Oklahoma, Ole Miss. You know, I would say Florida, but that's what I get for picking them as my dark horse. We're not going to go there. But you're not going to. You'll rattle cages. And again, the schedule for the next 4 years has come out for Arkansas. We're going to go over it tomorrow night. Holy crap, dude. Holy crap.
We're going to have a coach.
We're going to have a coach that, to hell with it, I'll say it. Bring me a Saban. Bring me a Saban-style coach. But who you going to get? That's the thing. Where do you go from here? To get the kids bought in, this is what you got to do according to DMAB. This is how you get kids bought in. We're on a 1-year deal, boys. If y'all go out here and play your ass off, this school or another school will pay you some serious money to play next year. That's all. I mean, here's the thing. Tyler, I don't know if you listen to some of the talking heads around the state when it comes to sports radio, podcasts, things like that. There's 2 points that, Jesus. Sorry, it's thundering out here, and I can hear it through my headset. There's 2 points I want to make, and I want your take on them. All right? Number one, why do you think Hunter Yurachek was so quick to take the Arkansas job and get out of Houston?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty certain that I've heard the reason he wanted out of there was because they wanted him to do more with football, if I'm not mistaken.
I have it on good authority, and I've read it somewhere, that if he wouldn't have taken the Arkansas job, Houston was going to fire him anyway. You want to know why? Because he didn't invest in the football program. Look at how Houston turned things around after Hunter Yurachek left. This cord about to drive me nuts.
And dude, they not only turned it around, they were ranked top 25 a few years in a row there, and they were one of the teams that you didn't want to play Group of 5 until they went Big 12.
Yeah. The other thing I want to put to bed is the Lane Kiffin rumors. I don't know if you guys listen to this, and I'll give. I'm going to throw up after I say this. I'm going to give the Northwest Arkansas radio show some credit because they dispelled this rumor. I'm going to go throw up now. Lane Kiffin didn't come here because of money. Lane Kiffin didn't come here because of money. Lane Kiffin went to Ole Miss because he looked at the roster and realized that's where he could win. And look at what he's doing. Look at what he's doing. He was right. It wasn't about money coming here. It was about talent. It was about the roster, where the best place he could go and win and compete. And he's doing it at Ole Miss. You want to hang in this league, you're going to have to be an asshole. Like me.
Man, and we're going to – the deal is, too, like I was thinking about this just a second ago. We had Brett Bielema, no SEC experience when he came in, limited experience in the Big Ten. I think he had been a head coach for 7 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but look at what he did at Wisconsin. Look at the sustained success at Wisconsin. Oh, my God.
Right.
He also, if you remember, he's also the one that kicked the crap out of us in the Capital One Bowl, one of Houston Nutt's last year's.
Yeah.
When we played Wisconsin.
But then you go to the next head coach, Chad Morris. Not a proven coach with any history. Then,
No. He was a proven coach according to, JCP's standards. Look at what he did at SMU.
Right. Well, look what happened after he left SMU. But furthermore, the same is true about Sam Pittman. And this is why I think, even for myself, but even as Razorback fans, you don't have anything to fall back on to say that is going to get better, because the only experience that you have from him that you can base any information on is what he's done at Arkansas, at his time at Arkansas. You don't have 7 years at Wisconsin to say it's going to get better. You don't have that.
But at the same time, which, again, very valid point. However, we know for a fact Sam Pittman is not going to be a head coach after he leaves the University of Arkansas. He's already said it. This is his last job. That's it.
Right.
But why on God's green earth? Why on God's green earth did you hire somebody that did not have any kind of coaching experience and think it was a good fit?
Man, I think they were desperate at the time, and then you had all the offensive linemen that were on Bielema's staff writing letters and sending messages to Yurachek because they wanted Pittman to get the job, and they knew he was interested. And I think that they felt like maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. It was one of those things.
I want to go through some of these comments here. Brad Staten says we just don't know how to win, and he's right. We know how to win. I'm gonna disagree with him to a point. We know how to win. We don't know how to sustain it. That's the problem. JP says, who's going to want to come here if there's no AD because they know they're not that AD's guy? Here's the thing. Hashtag, by the way. Throwing it back old school for those of you that are old fans of mine. I think the AD's got to get hired, got to get fired and hired first. Because, again, without a captain, who the hell's going to pilot the ship?
And it's all got to move so fast, too, because of the way everything is set up now. You got to get a coaching staff established. And luckily, with the new transfer portal rules, they have a little more time, so they don't have to rush just absolutely too much.
Yeah, we're still live.
They don't have to rush too much, but they do have to be in a hurry, because if they're going to let Yurachek go before the end of the year, then it's all got to move really fast, because you got to get an AD in there, and then he's got to make a coaching hire, and it needs to be done before the transfer portal period.
Yeah, and it needs to be done before National Signing Day. So, okay. I'm and yes, we're still live. We'll probably be live for another 15, 20 minutes. Here's the thing, and I know a lot of people are going to probably get pissed at me when I say this. No former player should be on the coaching staff outside of an analyst, outside of a coordinator, outside of a positions coach. Now, you want a player, give them a positions coach. Make them a positions coach. All right? Do not make them any kind of head coach or coordinator. They don't have the experience. Okay? They don't. I'm sorry. I'm against former players being on the coaching staff that don't have experience. Grant Morgan at Illinois, that's a little bit different. He's linebackers coach. He went from a walk-on to an All-American at his time in Arkansas. I think he's earned it. All right? You've got to have heart. You've got to have a heart. All right?
I think we've got to get a coach who firmly believes in developing the defensive side of the football. And, man, I like to watch our team score points, but, like, that's been our Achilles heel for as long as I can remember.
I love watching our team score points. Okay? That's Bobby Petrino's MO. Outscore your opponent. But here's the thing. You're in the SEC. I want to see one of our guys lay our opponent out. I want to see somebody hit stick somebody, for those of you that play college football on the PlayStation or an Xbox. All right? I want to see it. I want to see that giant pop. I want to see a sack. I want to see a tackle for a loss. I want to see an interception. But this shoulder tackling crap's got to go. JP also chimes in and says Brett had Alvarez in the building to help him keep Wisconsin going. So that's part of that.
100%.
DMAD says if you come in with no AD, the football coach has a huge say in the decision.
And maybe that's not a bad move. If we're trying to get a guy with a big name, maybe that's not a bad move.
I don't know about that. Dylan, if you're still watching, kind of expand on that point for me. The one where he's got a huge say. This comment here. Give me a little bit more context. JP, I don't know if Hunter's got a buyout. I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure he does. Brad Staten.
Dylan answered in the comments.
Zach, if you disagree with me to a point, did we beat Ole Miss? Did we beat Memphis? Should we have won both of those games? Yep. Don't know how to win. Yeah. I agree. But, however, A&M, Alabama A&M, Arkansas State, you're 2 fumbles away from being 4-0. And here's the thing. If we're 4-0, we ain't having this show. This show does not happen if we're 4-0.
Absolutely not.
This show does not happen. Tonight does not happen if we're 4-0. Okay? No, but look here. All right? Look here. Shut up, Brad. That's all I got to say. No. We don't know how to consistently do it. Think about it. We beat the number 4 team in the country last year. What happened the very next week? We got slapped around by Ole Miss. And I don't mean just, I'm talking ex-girlfriend catching her boyfriend sleeping with the next door neighbor's nanny and beating the hell out of him.
They did lay it on us, and it looked like we weren't even remotely prepared for that.
No. That's what I mean. This year's a wash. I don't think this year. You've got a point, Brad, but this year it's a complete wash. The fan base, and here's the thing. Okay, so how do you? So let's move forward as we're closing out this show. How do you make an impact? How do fans finally get their voice heard if they don't feel like they're being heard by social media, which that's become a whole different animal. You hit them where that hurts, right? Don't go to the games. Just don't go. Yeah, it's the first ever matchup between Arkansas and Notre Dame. And it sucks that it's got to be this year. Of all years, it's got to be this year. But you want to make an impact, you want to make a change, you want to make a difference, don't go to the game. I'll be honest with you. I try to go to every Razorback game in Fayetteville that I can get to. Had plans to go to the Notre Dame game. I was excited about it. Everything else. I left that game the other night against Memphis. I don't want to go. I can't, and I've never done that in all of my years to skip a Razorback game. I went to Chad Moore's games. I went to Western Kentucky when we made Ty Story look like a Heisman. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Tyler, I don't know. I'm going to watch it. But why would I want to go up there at 4 o'clock in the morning for this game to be over at halftime when we're getting beat down 45-10?
Yeah. I mean, not only why would you put yourself through that agony again, and for one, you don't support what you're seeing on the field. Then
you can't even be excited about it.
No. And then why would you want to empty your pocketbook? Why would you want to have to go up there and, pay for parking and food and all the things that you have to do to get into the game, and the gas to get up there, and the time that it takes to drive up there and drive back? Because you live in Central Arkansas. It's not like a skip, hop, and a jump over there. It takes some time to get up there.
Yeah.
And so
you've got to make a statement. And if Hunter Yurachek's not listening to you through social media and the writing camp and all of this, hit him where it hurts, because he cares about money. He's already losing recruits. Because think about it, going into the season, we have the number 1 recruiting class for 2026 in the SEC. But I'll say it once, I'll say it again. When Mississippi State and Vandy are 4-0, and we're now at the bottom of the SEC again, there's a problem. And that problem is the culture. Period. Couple more comments, and then we're going to wrap it up. Trevor, my boy Trevor says, Storm Chaser Zach not mobile. No, I'm chasing from the house tonight. It's not a severe. And Razorback. The Hawg fanatics are a little bit more important. But I am monitoring the situation with the weather. So don't count me out just yet. Justin Ashmore, I already canceled my trip to the homecoming against Mississippi State. I mean,
can't blame you, brother.
I can't blame you. All right, so here's a long one from Dylan. The football program is the biggest moneymaker, so essentially the football program drives the athletic department. So if you get a big-name guy like we did with Cal last year, he was able to bring in his guys and hire a GM for the school. Basically, if you hire a big-name guy and ask him who he wants, it could be a good way of selling a coach on a school. Coaches are control freaks. Here's the problem. Okay, all right. It wasn't Hunter Yurachek that brought in Calipari. If it was Calipari, we'd have had Darrell Walker. John Tyson went, no, you're not going to hire this guy. I got our guy. Makes one phone call, Final Four weekend, and it's sold. And again, I said this a couple of minutes ago. Everybody keeps saying, okay, well, Jerry Jones is our guy in football. No, he's not. He can't be that guy because he's an NFL owner.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what
Number 2, look at what he's doing to the damn Cowboys. You gave away your best defensive player and you're 1-2? Come on. You really want that guy to pick our head coach?
I kind of agree with what Dylan's saying, man. I think if we let the coach kind of dictate the direction we go with the athletic director, because it's a great way to sell like, you want this big name guy, this is who we want. Well, let him, all right, well, I'm going to bring this guy in with me, and we're going to turn this thing around for you guys. I mean, I see his point. I don't think it's a bad play. It can't be any worse than what we're doing right now.
I mean, it can, apparently. Justin Ashmore once again says, should I start eating corn dogs? Nah, I wouldn't. I mean, you want to go ring the cowbell, go for it. And I think that's what hurts more than anything is seeing Vanderbilt and Mississippi State go from the bottom of the SEC every single year with Vanderbilt, and then watching Mississippi State struggle last year going 0 in the SEC to now they're 4-0. Now, I know 4 games into the season, everything's going to change. They could go 4-8. We don't know. But they've already doubled their win total from last year. Vanderbilt is 4-0.
And they look good, man. I mean, we wouldn't want to go play them right now.
No,
Because
look, they win this week. I swear to God, I'll start screaming anchor down.
Who do they have this week?
I will have that answer for you tomorrow. I'll be better prepared for tomorrow's show. This one was all about emotion, y'all. Fumble drill's not enough at this point? Nope. It's a culture thing. Period. You fumble in practice, you ain't seeing the field on Saturday. Brad Satan says, try coming down from Colorado to Fayetteville. Not even close to cheap. Can't make myself do it. I wouldn't.
No, me neither, man.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it till basketball season. Because I'm going to tell you now, and I've said it long before the season started, we're winning the Natty this year, baby. I bet the boosters are already talking to Cal about the next AD. Ooh. I didn't think about that. Oh. Caleb might be onto something there.
Man, that almost scares me, though, because that solidifies for the rest of the time what our focus is going to be at the University of Arkansas.
Again, well, Hunter Yurachek said it. We're built to win a national championship in baseball and basketball. That's where his focus is.
And man,
But call me crazy. I forgot my point.
Man, you're good. You're right, 100%, man. It's so tough to have that statement made and to not think like how many people view the situation that we're in that same way, and people that we don't know or people that have the money, how many of them just view it as football is something we get to enjoy until basketball season starts, and then that's when the Razorbacks can compete.
Yeah. Now, here's the upside. Here's the upside to this. You ever notice the vicious cycle of Razorback fandom? Being a Razorback fan, it's the same cycle every year. Can't wait for football. I've been guilty of it. Can't wait for football. Drinking the Kool-Aid, swimming in it. They let us down. Oh, well, at least we got basketball. Basketball. Hoops are going to save us. Heck yeah. They struggle out of the gate. Oh, God, they're not going to make the tournament. And at least there's baseball. Forgive me, Hawg fans, for what I'm about to say. Oh, we missed the foul ball. Oh, crap, we missed the 2 outs. Oh, my God, he fell in the outfield. It's a vicious cycle. It is.
Man,
it is.
You see all the posts on social media from people who aren't fans of the Razorbacks at all, just being like, you think you've had a tough year, try being a Razorback fan.
One of the first – okay, so as we're wrapping up here, I got a funny story to tell. So one of the first TikToks I made when TikTok first came out and all this, I had made one of my sorry, I'm checking the weather at the same time I'm trying to talk. Sorry. One of the first posts I made, it was, you think you can hurt my feelings? I'm a Razorback fan at 4-20. You can't hurt I'm a Cowboy fan on top. Well, I was a Cowboy fan on top of that. I'm a glutton for punishment, man.
It sounds like it.
But, I mean, in all honesty, as we're wrapping up here in the final moments, Tyler, the fan base stands with us. They're sick of it. And here's the thing. There's a radio personality / voice of the Razorbacks in Northwest Arkansas that doesn't like to hear when fans are not happy with mediocrity. He says it's, quote, the mantra of stupid people. No, it's the mantra of a fed-up fan base that's pissed off. I have never in my life seen a fan base this pissed off, but apathetic at the same time.
Yeah, dude, it's like we knew it was coming. It's like one of those situations where you knew it was coming. You tried to talk yourself out of believing that it was going to happen. And then when it finally happened, you're so checked out already because you expected it. And I like you and I'm checked out, man. I checked out, and the thing is like we're doing what we're doing right now because we want the fans to know that something's got to change and their voice needs to be heard, and that the only way that it's going to be heard is if everybody has a voice. Everybody says we are sick of the same thing over and over again.
You ever
and
notice?
Y'all not hearing us when we say that it's not going to change.
You ever notice that there are moments when Hunter Yurachek starts naming off, we came in 8th or 7th or 5th in the Director's Cup. We've had the highest GPA of graduates and all this other crap. And he bragged about having like $120 million when he first got here, and now our operating budget for the athletic department's $180 million. Okay, where does that money come from? The fan base. Who have you royally pissed off? And I'm not just saying a section of the fan base. I'm talking the entire fan base is pissed. Who pays that money? Who gets that operating budget? You don't take a dime from the state. You're a self-funded athletic program, and you're running it into the ground. So, I'm gonna, to hell with
I
it.
love Coke. I love being able to drink Cokes in a Razorback.
That's gonna be in the world of social media. That's gonna get taken out of context. I love Coke.
Sorry, man. We're from the South. Everybody knows what we're talking about.
I'm just saying.
Listen, I love Coca-Cola. So
there you go. Good save.
I love the slobbering Hog. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I love that the court's named Nolan Richardson Court. But you know what I love more? When the Razorbacks win football games. So quit worrying about all this crap that doesn't mean anything, and put us in the right spot to do what we need to do to win football games. Quit worrying about all that petty little stuff that gets you brownie points, and worry about this other stuff that actually matters.
Winning cures all. Winning cures all. But I'm going to ask the question, because this is the way my brain works. Are we better off now than we were when Chad Morris was here?
No, I'm going to say yes and no, and I'll explain why. Yes, because I do think that as a team that's preparing for Arkansas, you do have to respect the opponent that you're going to play against on the field.
They're not walking into Razorback Stadium scared to play us, though.
But they can't lay an egg like they were able to with more. I mean, they could come out with their second. I mean, we were getting beat by a group of 5 teams. They can bring their second string in and beat the Chad Morris era. But I'm going to say no, because what recruit looks at Sam Pittman and what he's done in 6 years and says, I think that this is what's absolutely like, what recruit that you need to win football games looks at Sam Pittman's record and says, this is what is going to get me where I need to be.
Exactly. But again, losing to Memphis, losing to Liberty, the equivalent to losing to North Texas, Colorado State. 4-20 in 2 years, 30 and 32 in 6. Since that 9-3 season, and I know I've said we're wrapping up, but y'all know when I get on a high horse and soapbox, and when I get passionate about something, I could probably talk all night about it. And I promise we're going to end this at some point. I promise. And when you look at the grand scheme of things, all right, he's been here a year too long. Since that 9-3 season, you've gone 4-8, barely gotten to 7-6, took a mediocre, and I mean mediocre Kansas team to 3 overtimes when, wait for it, you blew another double-digit lead in the second half. You handled Texas Tech, but you almost got beat there too on another 6-6 season when you depended, and they were dependent on Louisiana Tech to get to that bowl. Sam Pittman is not the answer. Now, what the answer is, I don't know. They don't pay me that. I don't get paid for this kind of thing. I don't get paid at all doing this.
If Pittman's the answer, we're asking the wrong question. I know that.
There you go. You took them. See, you're going to fit in just fine. You're going to fit, because you just took the words right out of my mouth. If Pittman's the answer, we're not asking the right question.
Yeah, but
if Pittman's the answer, shut the program down. Shut the program down. Caleb said it best. Should have gotten fired after 4-8. Him hiring Bobby Petrino saved his butt.
100%, because if they don't know that Talon develops another what quarterbacks look like after a second year with Petrino, and that Talon's going to develop the way he does after last year, and the expectation going into this year, I don't know what the expectation from Hunter Yurchek was, but I know what everyone else was thinking, and probably including the boosters, was Talon Green's going to develop enough. The defense just literally has to be mediocre. They went and spent pretty good money on some receivers. The defense is mediocre. You got a good offense. There's a path to 8-4. That's what the boosters were thinking. That's what everybody up top was thinking. There is a path, but there is no longer a path to 8-4.
There's not. There's unless a miracle happens.
And, man, I'm going to be 100%. I don't think Ole Miss is one of the strongest teams in the SEC this year. I don't think that's something that we should hang our hat on.
It all depends. It all depends on how they do moving forward in conference play, to be honest.
Well, this weekend's going to be a big indicator.
Who they got this weekend?
LSU.
And it's in Oxford. Okay.
Yeah, it's in Oxford.
And that's, Bobby Petrino is known for these high-powered offenses and no defense. All right, and that's cool. You can throw and have 500 yards of offense and pass for 500 yards and have 1,000 yards over the course of 2 games. But what good's it going to do if you can't win the damn thing? You blow an 18-point – how? How do you defend blowing an 18-point lead and then on top of that fumbling the ball, and then on top of that letting a 300-pound defensive lineman get skull-drugged like a bully at recess by the backup quarterback?
Yeah. It's pathetic, man. It's pathetic to think that we should have even been in that position in the first place, because there was absolutely no reason.
That game should have been over at Hoover. It should have been over at halftime. You're up 28-10, and 3 points is all you – 10 points in 4 quarters? 10 points. Against Ole Miss, if you combine the scoring in the second half, 10 points is all we could do in the second half. That's it. That's it.
With 1,000 yards offense, 10 points.
If that don't make your stomach turn, and I don't want to hear, well, we've got a good football team. No, we don't. No, we don't. We might have the talent, and we might have a good football team, but they're not showing it. They're not showing it. Anyway, we could do this all night, but
yeah, real quick before we jump off, like I don't want to predict when he gets fired because I have an idea and we've talked about it a lot. But real quick, what do you think the record is at the end of the year? Do you think it if Pittman this is the best way to ask this. Do you think if Pittman gets fired and Petrino takes over that changes what the record will be? It
all depends on what limitations they put on Bobby. Right. Honest to God. And I saw this. Something told me about it because I saw this play out, and I mentioned it last year, and I got laughed at. But Pittman gets fired, takes over, and we go 6-2 the rest of the year. We end up 8-4. In a dream scenario, that's exactly what happens. But you cannot handcuff Bobby P. And for God's sakes, keep him away from blondes and bikes. Okay? But you've got to find a leader on that football team. Grant Morgan. I've talked to his brother Drew a couple times. Grant Morgan. Fantastic dude. Fantastic kid. All right? He was the leader of that defense. Him and Bumper were the leaders of that defense, and you knew it. You saw it. You knew it. Landon Jackson, same thing. Leader on that defense. You don't have a leader. And when you don't have a leader, this is the result. And I'll say it. I'm embarrassed to be a Razorback fan right now.
upset for sure, disappointed. There's so many words that I could use that won't
Well,
even get close to describing it.
Again, I did not want, and don't get this mixed up. We didn't do this show tonight to crap all over the Hogs. All right, because I'm still 11 o'clock Saturday morning. I'm still going to turn TV on. I'm still going to watch Notre Dame and Arkansas. But instead of being excited, my first thought's going to be, how bad are they going to blow us out?
Yeah, 100%. And guys, I'm super grateful for everybody who's jumped in tonight and participated and let, like, this was the idea that Zach had, and we've kind of talked this over for a couple of days, and our hope was that we would have everybody kind of jump in and voice their opinions and show us that we knew how Razorback Nation was feeling, and we wanted to let y'all tell it, and y'all have been awesome tonight.
Yeah, you'll learn. The longer you hang with us, Tyler, the more you'll learn. Our fans are why we're here. This is why 9 years ago is why I started this. And the fans are why I get to keep coming back week after week. They're awesome.
Well, man, I sure appreciate getting to be a part of it. I understand where everybody's at and how you feel, because we feel the same way. And we're just as tired of it as you guys are. But I hate to say that I hope that a change is made. I hope that what needs to happen this weekend happens so that a change is made. But, guys, at the end of the day, regardless of what happens this weekend, there is not a future in what we have with Sam Pittman. Win, lose, or draw this weekend, there's no future in that. There's not. And I don't – at the end of the day, I never wish for somebody to lose their jobs. But this is a business. At the end of the day, this is a business. All right? And if you're getting paid, I guess, what, $7.5, $8 million to win a football game, and you can't do it, there's no excuse for it. No.
But I think, and we're going to end on this note, I'm going to predict, and this is going to be my hot take, and I'll say it again tomorrow night for those of you that are going to watch the main show tomorrow night. Regardless of what happens this week, I think Pittman's gone either way.
I agree with you, man. I mean, I don't have any other. I guess I do have a hot take. I don't think Hunter Yurchek will be around to hire his replacement either.
He won't. But here's the other hot take I'm going to say. Pittman doesn't hang around, but I don't think Yurchek has the balls to fire him. He hasn't yet, and he's had every reason in the book. Why should I believe he's going to do it now?
Right.
But at the end of the day, like I said, it's a business. Want to remind everybody, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, MC, myself, Tyler, and we're going to try to get D-Mad in here, but he might be under Guantanamo Bay, as he likes to call it. No, D-Mad is out for the foreseeable future, not for anything other than he's about to become a proud papa in a couple of days. So he will be off helping his wife and his new baby girl get acclimated and get settled in. We're excited to see the newest Hawg fan, and he'll be back with us at some point in the future. But me and MC, the dynamic duo, will be back 8 o'clock tomorrow night for the main show. We'll have our SEC pick'ems. We'll talk a little bit more about the future of the football program, and who knows what other shenanigans we're going to get into. But Tyler, man, it's been fun. We got our grievances out. I feel a little bit better going into Notre Dame. I still don't think we're going to win, but make sure you guys mark your calendars. October 11th, 6 to 9 p.m. Argenta Plaza, North Little Rock. It is the longest broadcast we do here at ITHP. And it's going to be from 10 o'clock in the morning till almost 10 o'clock at night, live from Little Oktoberfest. We're back again as the official MCs and the judge of the Beer Stein competition. And we're going to be out there. I think, like I said at the beginning of the show, I think the entire ITHP crew will be together for the first time in 2025-2026 athletic football season. See what I did there? I saved it because we were together back in February. And y'all come out, support a great cause. It's a nonprofit event. It all goes to charity. Not a dime goes back into the pockets of anybody at the event other than the charity that they're putting this on for. Check out Wyndham Hotels. They've got specials going on so you don't drink and drive. And they've also got designated driver tickets for those of us that don't drink, like me. $10 will get you a designated driver ticket. $25 will get you in the door, or 40 tickets will get you a VIP ticket, which gets you in a little bit earlier. And they got some goodies to give away too if you want to get into the VIPs. Tickets are selling fast. Don't miss this event. I will have my broadcast position. I'll have the games up. We will get you all caught up on all the day's events. Plus, I'll have special guest host Matt Hart from Hawg HQ joining me once again this year. It's going to be a fun one, man. Tyler, I hope you can make it down from your neck of the woods and join us and talk a lot of football. It's going to be fun. And other than that, for Tyler Callahan, final thoughts before we get out of here, man.
Man, I love the Hogs, guys. Don't take this as we're bashing the Hogs. Just understand that the frustrations and I know that it's tough right now, but I think that the change that's going to come from this, I think with the landscape of college football, the Board of Trustees knows what needs to get done in order for football to move forward. And as D-Man said, football funds everything else because of the money that it makes. I think that the right decision is going to be made, that the one that we've been hoping for in the last few hires. So just kind of be patient and let's see this one through.
We're going to see how all this plays out. But again, we're not bashing them. We still love the Hogs. We're still going to root for them, even if they don't win another game this season. But for Tyler Callahan, I'm Razorback Zach. You've been watching a special edition of Inside the Hog Pen, Season's Over edition. Until tomorrow night, 8 p.m., so long, everybody.